And now all we have left to do is to import the Big Insights deployment. And what this deployment does is it defines the server, so that's a Big Insights master node, as well as an SSH key, so that's credentials required to actually connect to this server, meaning that not just any average Joe on the internet can connect to it, as well as the security groups, which I mentioned before is the firewall associated with it. And we generate this deployment by running a macro. We've actually created a macro for you to make this as simple as possible. The first thing we need to do to run this macro is import it. So to do that, we go to the top to Design. Under the Multi-Cloud Marketplace, click the Macros link. Now, I see it right here as the Create Big Insights Deployment, Big Data University. However, feel free in the keyword sections to search for Big Data, and it should be the one deployment listed. And it should be, and you should see the macro listed at the top. So now if we click this link, you can read all the information about this macro and click the subscribe button. What this does is it adds this macro to your own personal account. So after this macro has been subscribed, you can actually run it. So let's go ahead and run this macro by clicking the Run button at the top. And now you're presented with the IBM Big Insights Basic Edition license agreement. Go through this, and once you've read it, click the I accept the terms of the license agreement button or checkbox, and then click Finish. And once you've accepted the license, the macro begins to run. So on this first screen, do not enter anything and simply just click the Run button. And now you're presented with an option to choose a region that you want to run your Big Insights cluster in. I'm going to enter one, which corresponds to using the US East region. Feel free to use any of the other regions here. Just be aware that the other regions do cost more than US East. So click OK. And now we're going to choose a name for our deployment. I'm going to leave the automatically generated name, however feel free to call this whatever you want, and then click the OK button. And after the macro finishes running, everything was created successfully for you, hopefully, and just click the OK button. And now if we go to the top and go Manage Deployments, we should see that we have one deployment called IBM Big Insights for Big Data University, or whatever you named your deployment. And if you click that, we can see that there is one server in it called the Big Insights master node. And now you've reached the point where everything is done and you're ready to start our server. To do so, you can click the blue play button, which is also called the launch button. You'll be presented with a bunch of inputs. Leave these all as the defaults, scroll to the bottom, and click the launch button. And now you should see that your server is in the pending state. In about 10 minutes, your server should switch to the operational state, and you'll be ready to SSH into it and begin using it right away. So let's wait. And now you should get to a screen that looks like this, and you should notice that your Big Insights master node has a state of operational, and you should see a little monitoring graph under the CPU column as well. So the easiest way to connect to this instance or server and begin working with it is to scroll to the right, and under the Actions column, you click the little SSH console icon. And if you get something like this, make sure to either update your Java plugin, install Java, or just click Run this time. And if you have PuTTY installed on your computer, feel free to use PuTTY. Or if you don't, you can use MindTerm, which is a Java SSH client. So click Use MindTerm, for example. and you should be prompted if you want to add the host to your set of known hosts. Click yes. And now you should see that you have been connected successfully to this RightScale instance. For example, in order to actually start Big Insights, you can issue the startall.sh command. And you should see that under the succeeded section, everything was started successfully. And from this point on, you can start working on all of our labs. Thank you very much, and good luck.